Satellite overload.
We're recording, so.
Satellite Uber says
Our
it's time.
satellite overlords say
Over.
It's time? Okay. I will now call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners. Today is Thursday, July 17th, 2025. The time is 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a roll call?
Commissioner Vendy?
Here.
Commissioner Bowe?
here.
Commissioner Hulting, oh, not here. Commissioner Leduc?
Here.
Commissioner Mallon?
Here.
Commissioner Matza?
Here.
Commissioner Grau?
Here. Would anyone like to amend, add, or delete an item to the current agenda? Hearing none, we will move on to public comment. I believe there will be no public comment tonight. As far as the minutes go, there was a slight change to the minutes that you all received tonight. We added that the speaker, Dana Schneider, is a resident. So we are going to pass the minutes as amended.
Second.
Didn't make the motion yet. I move to approve the minutes as amended from the June 19th, 2025 regular board meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on. President. Wow. I just want to say we're halfway through the summer and it's impressive. The mowers are mowing, the teachers are teaching, the swimmers are swimming, the managers are managing, the PR, yeah, the campers are camping, the PR people are PRing. It's you're hiring, bringing people on board. It's amazing, especially when we walk through Oakton and see all the additional work that's going on in Oakton. So thank you all. The summer seems to be going very well, and knock on wood, we end it on a high note. So that's all for me. Attorney Price?
Nothing to report other than keep your eye on all things e-bike and e-scooter. They are now part of the team takeovers, and people are using the e-scooters to do damage to parks. So vigilance is required.
I think the city council's about to put limits.
So because the e-bikes have now been defined by the state legislature as bicycles, they can go anywhere a bicycle can go. Now, under the Illinois Vehicle Code, they can't be on sidewalks, so that helps. And the Park Ridge, the municipality has jurisdiction over the streets, but within the parks, you can still do whatever it is you want to do. So lower speed limits, age restrictions, all those things are still on the table for you. The three classes of bikes all have motors that can get them to 20 miles an hour at least. Class 3 can get them to 28. That seems to be fast for being within park systems and so forth. So most are going to a 10-mile-an-hour thing within park systems and banning the ones that go to 28 miles an hour altogether. But that's sort of what's out there. It's just the e-scooter is the more
Scooter's different. Okay.
yeah, the e-scooter is more problematic. It's become a vandalism tool, and so we just want to keep a constant vigilance for that.
All right. Beware. All right, Executive Director Shea.
Thank you, President Grau. Echoing some of the things that you said earlier, I do want to give a huge thank you to all the staff that participated in the 3rd of July fireworks. We had to pivot a little bit due to the construction at Maney's, but I think the event went out without a hitch, ended with a bang in a good way, and things were great. Also, thank you to all the Buildings and Grounds staff that had their time committed to the Uncle Slam Grand Slam tournament for the 4th of July weekend. This year, that was extended by a few days, so it wasn't just a weekend. It was about a 5-day tournament. And I know that Patrick Barker and his staff worked really well to make sure the needs were met for that tournament. So a huge shout out to all the recreation staff involved in the 3rd of July fireworks and parks and buildings and ground staff for the tournament and 3rd of July fireworks too. It was a great event. Thank you to Vice President Matza for speaking up at the event as well. Thank you, appreciate it. To echo what you said, I too believe it's been a great summer. As you look through the whole board pack, there's a lot of things going on. We had a little cold start. Today feels like it's going to be Halloween tomorrow, but pools were picking up, A lot of high heat temperatures. Lifeguards been doing a great job. A lot of camp numbers. Everything's been going great. So a huge shout out to all the staff that are here today and those that may watch this video later in the future. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you to April Armour and Terry Wolf for taking the time over the last two days to tour Oakton with all the board members. We had a great time going through Oakton. Thank you to the board for making time to tour it as well. We are still finalizing the dates for all the preview party for Oakton and the VIP event as well. More information to follow as we get closer. This past week was Taste Park Ridge and Canopies in Cortland. So one day staff sold tickets Friday around lunchtime, and then we also were present all day for Canopies in Cortland in the kid zone. So thank you for all those staff that attended. This year, what we did in honor of our upcoming event this weekend, we have the Children Expo and Kite Fest. We gave out Park Ridge Park District kites, very different colors. I'm going to plug the one color that I thought was the best, and so did the kids. Ninja Turtle Green was the favorite kite this year, so it was great to see everyone come up and get information. As I stated in my last board memo, the special board meeting for budget we've been talking about, the date has been set for Tuesday, October 28th. And then also there are two more. That meeting, the Tuesday one, will begin at 6 p.m. here at the boardroom. And then we'll have two more special meetings as well on November 6th and December 4th to approve the budget by the end of the year. So all those dates will be sent out as well. This weekend, we have a lot of events and programs going on. There's a Flick and Float tomorrow at Hinckley Park. There's the Early Childhood and Kite Expo on Saturday. The Sustainability Commission and Green Park Ridge is putting on an electric vehicle expo. Our Ford F-150 Lightning will be there. That takes place at the Metro lot from 10 to 2. And then on Sunday, we also have Yoga in the Park and Sunday Fun Day at Prospect Splash Pad. So a lot of things going on. And just thank you for your time. And again, once again, thank you to all the staff for everything they're doing this summer.
John, can you follow up on what our policy is for e-bikes and scooters in the park district?
E-bikes, scooters, we amended our policy currently to ban scooters from our parks. And then e-bikes right now, the only one that's available is level 1 with the pedal assist. The rest of those were removed. I've been in talks with Chief Campworth regarding everything they're doing as well in the city code. I think they're looking to approve that the first week of August, I believe, was the date that last time I spoke with them. This was last week. We haven't circled back. But that too will also enforce those bikes not being allowed in our park sites as well. So we've had constant communication with Chief Campworth on this one as well.
And the Farmers Commission meeting is July 30th, right?
And it was supposed to be yesterday, but due to a special meeting, is now scheduled for July 30th. So that's Tuesday, July 30th.
All right, so if anybody's interested. Any other questions? All right, Marketing and Public Relations, Director Holler.
Good evening.
She has a
My-
mic.
Yeah, I don't have to stand up today. My report starts on page 9. A couple of highlights is that the autumn brochure will release to the public on Monday. This is the largest brochure I've seen in 11 years that I've been here. It's at almost 120 pages. And we're excited to see all the new programming for Oakton in it, which has really made it bigger. And then we're in the midst of interviewing for the digital media specialist position. There was lots of interest with 151 applicants. We've conducted our first interviews and we're working down to our selection. So I hope next month I can introduce our new employee to you all. This year, I thought the board would be interested in a mid-year sponsorship report, so that's included in the board packet. The general sponsorships for the district are up 20% compared to year-end last year. And I want to give a shout out to manager Sarah Chupik because she handles the sponsorship for the activity center area, the STAR sponsorships. And her numbers are included in those figures, and she's also up the 20%. So both of us are up 20% this year. And not included in those general figures are sponsorship for Oakton, which is at $113,100 this year. I broke out in my report the sponsorship into 4 areas because there's just that one area that is annual that can be renewed each year. So hopefully in future years, we'd be able to maintain and grow that $18,600. So looking at the packet, pages 11 to 14 show the details of the sponsorships. Then pages 15 to 33 is what our general sponsorship offerings are. And pages 34 to 43 are specific to Oakton for this year. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
I don't have a question. I just want to commend you on this report. It's great. It's
you.
something I had brought up just in casual talking with Executive Director Shea when he first came on was visiting other park districts like Niles or Skokie. You could see it's prevalent that people advertise, and I had always pointed to like CFC, which I visit a lot, like and not seeing the same type of sponsorship. So this is great. The numbers are great. You guys are doing great, and this is very welcome for us. So thank you very much
Thank you.
for putting this together.
Yeah, this blew me away because I knew you were working on prices for everything, but you also have
A little bit going on.
secured some sponsors. Did you do all that?
It's been a team effort.
It's fabulous. It's great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been one of those topics we've talked about it for a long time, and it's great to see all of it compiled together. And just a comment about the terrific work with the online presence. I had a single dad, brand new resident to Park Ridge, say, I don't know where the fireworks are. Sure enough, I get online, immediately find the map of where the fireworks are, the whole layout of where to go, forwarded it over to him. He and his son had a great time. And I think it was great for him as a brand new resident to kind of see where to go, where to hang out with his son. So thanks.
Thank you.
How about that picture of that kid covered in bubbles? Like, I can't believe that wasn't in a statewide brochure. That is hysterical. Yay. All good stuff. Anything else? We move on to Director Riker for HR. Yay.
There we go.
This is what
Really
happens
loud.
when Eileen comes to the meeting.
Look at that. Good evening. My report's on page 44. We have been working towards and gearing up for the opening of Oakton with all the fun part-time recruitment that's been going on. We've been hiring a lot of staff and are still recruiting. So if you know of people, direct them to our website. We're really excited for it. We had a great visit with our Paderma risk management consultant back on July 10th, who visited our parks facility as well as our maintenance garage, as well as one of our aquatics facilities. So that was great. And then we're prepping already for seasonal separation of the staff as we get them all onboarded. Then we have to switch gears with evaluations, separations, and all the steps for that. So that's kind of what we're working on as we ramp up hiring for Oakton. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
It never ends, does it?
No, but that's fun. Keeps us busy. Right.
All right.
Thank
well,
you.
Thank you. All right, and we move on to finance.
Thank you. All right. Let's, Superintendent Larson, if you can take over.
Sure. My report begins on page 45. I don't really have anything to add, but I did want to spotlight my Centennial Fitness Center spotlight. So based on our conversation at the last meeting about maybe giving a few more details about locations or programs, I'm just going to, every board meeting or every other board meeting, try to highlight something, either a location or a program or something, just give a little bit more of a detail. And I tried to do a really cool spotlight graphic, and it was an epic fail, and it would have melted. So still words and numbers.
Call
but-
Margaret.
I know, but I hate to bother you. But other than that, I don't have anything to add if anyone has any questions.
Okay. Approval of the natural gas bid. All right, with the lowest qualified bidder. All right. I move to approve contract with Constellation New Energy as the lowest qualified bidder with a natural gas rate of 0.4320 per therm for 24 months, and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such contract.
Second.
Thank you.
So based on the memo I included in the board package, you know, we were due for our natural gas bid was expiring at the beginning of September. And Executive Director Shea and I decided to try something a little different this time by actually holding the bid today. So we would get the most current pricing and review it with you. I did email an updated memo, and you also have a paper copy here with what happened during the bid. I reached out to several brokers. We had one broker bid, and then I worked with two direct suppliers to get bid amount. And we did, let's see, what did we do? 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and did talk to them about carbon offset. Constellation New Energy was definitely the lowest. So we went with them. We can add carbon offset at a later date. Executive Director Shea and I decided to hold off on that. We want to wait and see what's happening with Oakton, and we've got that going, and see what their energy looks like before we add any increases to our energy costs right now. So, but I did confirm that we can add that at any time. So we can kind of see how things are looking, and then we may come back to you and request that. Are there any questions about the bid or the process?
How long do you think till we would revisit something like that?
The carbon offsets? I mean, I think once we get a sense of, you know, after Oakton is fully up and running, fully in use, see what the energy costs are there and for the district. I mean, I'd like to revisit it as soon as things seem stable. Again, it's just, we didn't want to commit to adding more costs until we know what any increases are going to be at Oakton.
Well, it's not going to be, yeah. So like a couple months, because it's gas, right? That we're
Yes.
talking about.
Yep.
2 years ago when we did this agreement, wasn't the increase like something like 40%
Yeah.
previous?
It was a big increase.
So the next 2 years, the increase will only be 12%.
But everyone pretty consistently said the energy world is just completely volatile right now. Remember when we did this before, the war in Ukraine had just started and the pandemic was ending, there was just a lot in the world that was happening. And now it's also how are the tariffs going to affect anything, data centers, you know, the energy use in general. So I felt pretty happy that the increase was only about 12%.
Any other questions? Sure. Okay. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Halting? Oh, sorry. Not here. Commissioner Leduc? Aye. Commissioner Mallon?
Yes.
Commissioner Matza?
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Grau?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. All right. I move to approve the payment of expenditures in the total amount of $2,145,914.94.
Second.
Thank you. Questions? All right. Can we get a roll call?
Commissioner Leduc? Aye. Commissioner Mallon?
Yes.
Commissioner Matza?
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Grau?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, we move on to information technology with
Director. Thank you. And I had the microphone ready. IT's been busy with Oakton, as everyone else. We're at the point now where IT is really coming together since the infrastructure's in, the fiber's in, the Wi-Fi's in. So now we're starting to really come together and get, we're working right now with Terry and his staff on getting the automated building controls and all the fun ice machinery hooked up, and so it can be monitored. I'm sure there's a technical name for that, but so we're working hard just getting all the stuff set up now, and they're terminating all the locations within the building, so it's coming together at a fast speed for us right now. Ordered lots, new equipment and just kind of figuring out where everything's going to be. We did decide right off the bat we're going to have to increase our Wi-Fi speed. We had 500 megabits per second for the whole building, and I was like, there's a lot of things on the Wi-Fi there, so increase that speed, we'll be doing a lot of engineered testing and stuff beforehand. So that's pretty exciting for us. We had a couple video requests. One was for an incident at the activity center. One was for a stolen bike at the outside the aquatic center. We also spent a lot of time involved with a FOIA request, which required a lot of time on video. And we had 74 open tickets in the last month and 68 closed. So we're staying on top of it and just enjoying the Oakton ride for now. Looking forward to it being open.
Are you enjoying it? Sounds like a lot
Actually,
of
I
work.
am. It's been a lot of fun. Now it's fun because things are working out. And they're in, so we kind of start seeing now, they're putting in the access points in next week and the cameras. And so it's starting to really come together. So it's exciting now. It'll be more exciting in September, though, when it's done. Questions?
I took a couple of minutes to step into the data closets over at Oakton. They look terrific.
Thank you.
That's got to be a very satisfying.
It's
thing to-
amazing. Yeah, and it's
so organized.
I love the organization because it makes it so much easier and everything's labeled. So it is nice when you start from scratch, kind of like this facility where everything's just neat and organized and you're not following like a bird's nest in there. So thank you. That I take pride. It's one of those things no one else even thinks about, but I love. It makes me happy. So anyway, thank you. Are there any other questions?
Thank you for all the extra work.
Thank you.
Recreation, Commissioner Mallon.
Before I ask Superintendent Armour to inform us of what is going on, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank John and Terry for an excellent tour of all 20 parks. It was a lot of fun going park to park and seeing kids involved in activities and seeing all the grounds that need to be maintained. And it was a very informative and impressive experience, so thank you for that. And this afternoon, being over at Oakton and seeing all of that come together, it was extremely impressive, and I'm excited about that grand opening August 23rd-ish.
We're targeting that weekend, yes.
So thank you for that. And if you could please inform us of what else is going on, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Lots of things happening in the summer, of course, some highlighted in the report. Both of the Park District concerts were held in June, the ones that we hosted. And of course, we had the July fireworks celebration, which was already mentioned, but that was a wonderful event and collaboration between departments and organizations in the community. We talked a little bit about camps last time, and we provided a bit of a snapshot of camp registrations. This is by no means every camp in the district, but I did ask staff, and they estimated 1,300 to 1,400 campers throughout the camps on a daily basis. So that's why when we're driving around and think you see a lot of campers, you do.
Everywhere you turn.
Yes. And then along with camp, staff is also preparing for Beyond the Bell and interviewing, hiring, preparing. So simultaneously, extremely busy time for that as well. Again, I feel like I pointed out pretty regularly, but both the youth athletics and Wildwood areas, it's just, we continue to see the growth, and it's just so impressive. The Activity Center had many exciting events, trips, programs throughout the month. And if you noted, Brickton camps had higher numbers this year. They were able to rearrange some things and expand to a second room during some camps. So they were able to accommodate more participants. Their camps always have pretty large wait lists with not much room to expand. The fitness center memberships also continued to increase, and they had a successful open house this past month. That's the first one they did in the summer. And there was also replacement of a new piece of equipment, which members have been very happy with. I stopped by right after it was delivered, and the members that were walking up, they're like, wow, this is so cool. So it was kind of fun to see that. I just happened to time it appropriately and unintentionally, but. And the aquatics team had their first audit of the summer, which went very well. And lifeguard training concluded, with an impressive 150 guards certified for the summer season. That takes a lot of time. and energy to prepare everyone to safely guard our pools. So wanted to point that out. Pass and daily sales are detailed out towards the end of the report, and despite the ups and downs of the weather we've had this summer, we're doing very well. And that hot weather helped, but now we have this again, so it's things not within our control. And staff finalized the autumn brochure, which, as was mentioned, everything Oakton related, and of course, adding the turf programs is part of what it made it grow so much. And also busy recruiting and hiring for Oakton. A lot of staff being hired. And everything's in full swing at the moment.
As far as full-time, part-time at Oakton Sports Complex?
Overall, I'd have to get back to you on an estimate of a number, but we've added some full-time staff. We've added IMRF, like permanent part-time staff. So we're adding customer service representatives, birthday party and rental attendants. So we haven't had those there before. The skate staff, we have some turf attendants also. So we probably need to come together to figure out a number that's just, and then Terry has his team with his building attendants and his, the ones that'll be working on the ice on a regular basis. So at any given time, we might have 15 to 20 staff in the building, depending on what's going on. Probably more than that with instructors.
Are any of them shifting, or are they all pretty new? Like, wouldn't that be like from one, like, are they new to the park district? It would be like.
Oh, there's a lot of staff that are returning and have been eagerly awaiting
Duh.
instructors,
Okay.
but there will definitely be some new. And there's some staff that are, one that works at Main Park right now that we shifted over is heading back over to Oakton. But yes, there are a lot of return staff that were instructors in the past. It'll be a combination. Other questions? Thank you.
All right, a lot of special events again, too. Wow, busy. All right, okay, we're moving on to recreation. I'm sorry, why, this is armor. Sorry, buildings and grounds, Commissioner Leduc.
And I will pass it on, Superintendent.
Thank you. My report does begin on page 73. I do want to touch on just a few things first that were not covered in my report, just due to timing. We are working on a process internally to put together a form for Eagle Scouts after the suggestion from Commissioner Leduc, I believe it was. So myself and April and John met, kind of talked through what this could look like. We identified that a form made sense, and I'm actually working with Jennifer Meunier, our project manager, because she has a child that's active and involved in scouting, and so she's going to assist us with what we feel would be an appropriate form as a starting point, so that we then can share that as a group and have a starting point to vet that process. So that's ongoing, and we should hopefully see that within the next couple of weeks to a month. We have an energy report just about ready. We didn't quite make the meeting this time, but we will have it at the next one. And so we are excited to get that out to the board. We anticipate having that next week, but we put some work into that and revisited that. And it was in a pretty good spot after the last meeting, following up with Lauren. And so we just kind of had to put that back front and center again. It just had kind of gotten set to the side for a minute while we were working on some other stuff. So so that'll be ready for the next meeting. So we'll be excited to show that off and share that information with the board. Also had a chance this week to have several meetings with Mike Browning. He's my counterpart over at D64. He started on July 1st. And so he's been active working with a few different projects going on. And so he had reached out, and we had some conversations about my regular ongoing meetings and just relationship that I've maintained with that position over the years. And so we met for breakfast also this week just to kind of develop that and talk about how and where we can continue to collaborate as organizations at our level for the things that we do. So, so we've had some good conversations there and had a good start for our relationship. So I was happy about that. We've been very busy with staffing. We've got our full-time staff now filled and on board. We're transitioned over to creating some new part-time positions that are now posted for Oakton. And then beyond just the staffing, we've obviously support for all these other affiliate groups and everything else. But Oakton is like really front and center at this point as we're starting to wrap things up. And so whether it's, testing for or, looking for different supplies or whatever, doing the bid so that we have the cleaning service or getting the right equipment in place, shifting staff over there to make sure that we're, constructing and building all the supplies that we're getting, taking the deliveries, just every little piece of it, ordering all them. So, because there's a lot, and it's at that time where we couldn't take deliveries. Okay, fine, we can take deliveries. And so now even all the things that like April's team has been purchasing, we're helping coordinate some of the deliveries of those and making sure that they're either coming to the garage, accepting them, then transferring them over, building them. So it's like, I don't know, it's got to be 50% of my day right now. So it's a lot. So
Santa's workshop, huh?
yeah, and it's exciting. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it's definitely a lot. So, so everybody's putting everything forward and it's all going really well. We're all excited to see that come to a close and be open and available for the public very soon. So, there's a handful of other things on the report, but if anybody has any questions about it, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that I was very impressed on the tour yesterday, and it's just been amazing watching the progress, every few months doing a tour and having it start out, just look, kind of a husk of a building, and now where it is.
Yeah.
It's everybody who's been involved should be very proud.
I think we all are. So speaking on their behalf.
It's going to be quite the add to our community. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, I'll proceed to the first motion. I move to approve an agreement with Chi-Town Cleaning Services as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for cleaning and custodial services at the Centennial Fitness Center and the Oakton Sports Complex in the total amount of $141,300 and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such agreement.
Second.
So I've provided, there's a memo for this on page 79. I have this broken down in there by month. And this cleaning and custodial bid covers the fitness center, which we currently have cleaning services for, but also the new Oakton Sports Complex. We had anticipated combining these in the future, hopefully other facilities as well, to try to gain a little traction and find a little, benefit of having more work and get more people interested and to help bring the cost down a little bit more, which seems to have worked. Our monthly cost for the fitness center has gone down a little bit, and we're going to be under budget for what we had planned for Oakton. So this was a great start. We did, typically with this bid, we would have put it out for a 1 year with the option to extend if we were happy. That always created some of its own unique challenges, and it put us in a situation where sometimes we were going out for bid for these things more often than and putting in more effort and energy than were necessary. And so taking the lead from a few other bids that we have done over the past year or so, we wrote in some CPI escalator language on this so that they get an escalation that is equal to the CPI, the same CPI that dictates what we are allowed to take. And so we used that and created a 3-year so that we could work with them, but we still have good exit clause language that we, talk through and work through with Dirk. So we're thinking that, the combination of the length of term and the scope of the work and just the overall language and change in how we've approached this helped with bringing this price in a little bit better. And so we'll continue to look at this as we can add on other facilities when it makes sense to increase on this and make it a little bit easier for us to manage what we have to manage. So we're just happy that this turned out the way that we had wanted it to. And for the first time that I've ever done the cleaning services bid in the 15 years that I've been here, the lowest bid that we received actually was responsive and responsible. So we're actually get to go with the lowest bid we had brought into the room. So usually something's wrong and we have to throw it out. So
What is the term, Terry? It doesn't, how long is
it's
the-
for 3 years.
All right, any other comments or questions?
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mallon?
Yes.
Commissioner Matzo?
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc?
Aye.
Commissioner Grau?
Aye.
All right, that passing unanimously. Let's move on to the next one. I move to waive competitive bidding for bid package number 12, Oakton Driving Range Fencing, due to market conditions, and to further authorize White and Company to enter into a contract with the responsible contractor for an amount consistent with White and Company's GMAX agreement.
Second.
So this one I did not prepare a memo for, and in hindsight should have. We have gone through and done this process before, where market conditions were difficult and not favorable for competitive bidding. For this particular package, it was actually competitively bid, but the market condition that existed was that nobody actually provided a bid for us. So we had a bid opening on July 2nd with White. They had put this out as part of their overall scope for the project. When we had no bidders, we talked through what our options were. We, of course, reached out to Dirk, who advised that, this option was available to us, and we had used it, in fact, on, I think, another bid package and a few other things with this project. So with this, the anticipation is that White would then be collecting proposals and quotes from different fencing companies to complete this work. And they've already begun that process to complete collecting those that are in line with our scope of work, so that we're still having an opportunity to look at a number of different vendors that will provide pricing and take the lowest possible price from those available proposals and quotes. So should the board approve this, I'll let them know that they can move forward and execute an agreement with the lowest responsible or the lowest bid that they get. So. Are there any questions about the specifics on this? And I should mention that this is all for the driving range specifically.
Is there a max cap? If they come back with 3 bidders and they're $500,000, are they going to say no?
So
Is that part of the GMAX agreement?
So they have within the GMAX, we have the funds available within the GMAX, but they also need to work with us, and we have to approve for them that, yeah, we're okay with them issuing that agreement. So if they came back with something that was astronomically high like that, we would let them know. Like, we can verbally give them notice that, like, hey, if we don't want it to be anything more than this, they haven't issued any of these bids, even the ones that have gone out or we've had to get proposals, without hearing from us and getting from us in writing that it's okay to proceed with issuing the agreement. So
So it's kind of backwards. We're giving we're giving White permission tonight to get competitive contractors that staff will approve.
it's all within their GMAX still. So all this
Yeah, but
funding has been authorized
Little
already.
line item schedule of value for fencing. They want to go over that, and they got to make it up somewhere else. So the reason we're asking you to waive competitive bidding is time is a tyrant. And the market stinks because there's no labor. So finding somebody who's got the resources to be able to meet our timeline, and that's important. On the other hand, there's the cost component, and we're telling White, you promised us this number and this schedule of values. You go make a market, you go find the right person, but you're on the hook for the GMAX. So if you're going to trade dollars, then that's on you. We're allowing you to do that. But no, it doesn't come back to Terry for a final thing. They'll inform Terry
Right.
where we are, that they've had to trade dollars or do whatever. But this is saying to them, one of the obligations we already are paying you for, White, is to bring this project in under the GMAX. You go make a market. You've asked for the opportunity to do it. We're authorizing you to do so.
That would be the legal way to say what I was trying to say.
Yeah, but theoretically, it's a pretty high number that they still have left sitting in the bank.
Got a lot of work left to do, so,
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't want them spending it all just because they could.
no.
They don't want to do that either.
They're very pretty conscious. We've been in talks with them and kind of got a sense where it's at is actually lower than what Terry
if they wanted to invade an allowance, they do have to go see Terry, but that's not what they're proposing here.
So they'll basically inform you all who they find with a number.
Yes.
But they can execute it. What if you say no, they're gonna be like, well, it's under GMAX, we're gonna do it anyway, right?
Oh, if we say no, or if we didn't like it, then they were gonna come in and ask for additional time and expense to go do something else.
Okay.
Because again, time's a tyrant, where construction season is what it is.
No, I understand the time aspect of it. I'm just whenever we do something that isn't normal, I like to ask questions just for transparency. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no.
Terry.
I told John earlier, in my 30 years of doing it, this is the worst construction market ever. It's so arbitrary. Labor is in such chaos. The tariffs aren't helping. It is. I have clients that are typically somewhere between 40 and 70% over budget on bids that are coming in the last month and a half. It's just terrible. So if we can find somebody, all the better.
Just to refresh my memory, was the replacement of the fencing something we had built into the entire project, or was this something that, as we started to look at this nettings and poles and all of that, was it then that the fencing was determined that it should be or needed to be repaired?
A little bit of both. So a portion of that was anticipated. The portion that's that runs congruent with the netting, we had anticipated that would need to be replaced as part of the overall allowance that we had for the netting and poles. One of the challenges we've always had with the whole netting and poles thing is that it was an allowance within the agreement. It was kind of a separate part, if you recall. So yes and no. The dollars that we're at now are a little bit higher overall because just that overall bid package changed a little bit. The needs there at that location changed over time as we did the trajectory studies and, the cost of materials, et cetera. So that area is a little bit over what that particular allowance was, but we had other contingencies, allowances, and unlet money that was projected that's covering that difference here. So that area we knew. When looking at the project from that perspective and where we're at on the project overall financially and seeing how the fencing looks along the front of Oakton, the part that people see when they drive by, and then the next section of fencing that's not associated specifically with keeping the balls in the driving range, but rather keeping people out of the driving range when it's closed. So the entrance area, as we're walking up the path to the area, they're old. They're basically at or past their life expectancy. That's rusting, galvanized. And so it's, when you consider the scope and size of the work and the project that we're doing out there, and we have the available funds to do it, it just makes sense that now is the time to take care of that and show the public the effort and energy that we put into that, as opposed to waiting and then coming back and potentially having to close the range down to do this work and shorten a season to get this work done in another year or two when it's necessary. So it just all kind of lined up. We're financially there. We were very cautious at the beginning of this project with our finances because we were, Dirk's talking about this terrible. We got lucky with a lot of different things, I think, a lot of good skill from White to get us to this point. So we're in a position that we can look at adding on a little bit of that. So it just wasn't ever laid out. This was kind of one of the last bid packages that they wanted to put out there. So,
thanks.
Yep.
When do you anticipate this being installed?
So this would go in the next couple of months as they're wrapping up the netting and poles project. So, yep.
Before the big poles.
It would be actually just right after. As soon as they're done with the big poles, this would go in. So portions of it would probably happen congruently. So poles on one side, they'd probably start putting up some fencing. They might start hanging the netting or, possibly even the fabric for the chain link fence and then go back in and put up the netting. So they kind of have to coordinate with each other to some degree. The area up front could happen at a different time frame depending on their need for access. But yep. Mm-hmm.
Would you let us know what they decide or who they choose or what the price is.
Yeah.
We may too.
Yeah, I'd be happy to share that.
So there was some thought that we might use some of the extra money for some enhancements maybe to the driving range. Would putting up the new fence before we do any of that make sense, or?
The fencing has to go up in conjunction with the driving range poles and nettings where it's at, so it would make sense. Next week, we have a meeting scheduled with White to kind of see where we are financially to get to where we're at, and then probably August come back to you to let you know that this is where we believe we'll be at. The next items on our wish list that we presented last year, the only thing that really left is anything at that driving range. So the way this fence is set up too, you have the double gate to get to the building and everything, you'd still have access if we have to do any improvements to the driving range, you'd still be able to get there. So right now is the time to do it with the driving range poles and nettings going up.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Superintendent Wolf, and Attorney Price for that, for the discussion of the extenuating circumstances and consequences. Do any other comments? All right, seeing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Matza?
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc?
Aye.
Commissioner Mallon? Yes. Commissioner Grau?
Aye.
All right, and now on to number 3. I move to approve an agreement for the Hinkley Pool boiler replacement with Primastar in the amount of $34,650 and to authorize the executive director to execute and deliver such agreement.
Second.
So I have a memo for this on page 82 of the board packet. This is pretty straightforward. It's for the Hinkley boiler. We had planned and budgeted for it this year. Initially, we were hopeful to get this in before the season started. There were some questions surrounding the availability of a like boiler. IDPH requires IDPH permitting, which is a very difficult and lengthy and long process. If you are changing anything that's within the pool system, that you're not replacing with a like for like. And so having the exact specific model number on a heater has to be the case, or you've got to go for that process. So which then takes up more time and a little more resources, a little more expense for the engineering company to go through that and answer any questions. So we weren't finding that avenue. We had a little uncertainty to kind of rush it in last minute before the season. We decided it was better to take our time to research this. We looked through it with a couple different of our vendors on this, and we came up with a solution with Primastar that does not need us to go through an IDPH permit. So we will get this ordered and have it installed and ready without question for next season. So we knew that we were right on that cusp of time. We had a couple burners go out on us, so we had to make a couple repairs, and we had a couple of days with a little chilly water. So it's not ill-fated that we're doing this, but we missed our window apparently by the season. It's one of those things you don't know until you know, but apparently we were accurate in knowing we had to replace it this year, but we missed the window and spent a little bit of money on some maintenance this year, unfortunately. So, but
Those 90-degree days.
yeah, well, it was cool for some of those. It probably was more refreshing. So,
Any other comments? All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc?
Aye.
Commissioner Mallon? Yes. Commissioner Matza?
Yes.
Commissioner Grau?
Aye. I forgot to ask earlier, are the bathrooms open at South Park yet?
we at like 2:45 today heard that we've got the permit, like the inspections completed and approved finally. So Jennifer Meunier is going to coordinate with Patrick in the morning to make sure that we've got it's cleaned, it's ready for it to be open to the public. So while we're not officially announcing that right here at this board meeting, we're suggesting that that might be the case tomorrow morning, pending everything going well. So
Make sure you get that toilet paper in there.
yes.
All right. Well, on to policy.
Policy has no report.
Intergovernmental, Commissioner Holting is not here, and she didn't tell me about anything intergovernmental. Communications and correspondence. Did you all get that email I sent you about the Girl Scout thing?
Yeah, we're talking about internally.
All right.
Also reached out to School District 64.
All right. I think I'm going to text a friend of mine. I keep forgetting to ask why they're not meeting there?
I spoke with Superintendent Collins after the email came through to see if I get anything. He did not know anything about that at the time.
Yeah.
And said he would further look into it. I did not hear anything back.
Did we get the gym situation straightened out with Beyond the Bell?
Still working on that too. So Superintendent Collins was out of the office because he had another child, so he was on paternity leave.
Oh,
And just got back after the 4th of July. So
wow.
a lot of conversation as Terry's meeting with Mike, his new counterpart. Ben and I have been going back and forth with phone calls and emails as well. So there's a lot going on there.
Well, I heard the scouts didn't like the room they were in, and we don't like the room we're in, so.
All right.
So anyway, that was through the grapevine, so I was going to follow up on that. So just so everybody knows, the Girl Scouts asked for a further decrease in rent if they could use one of our spaces, the Girl Scouts of Franklin School. And some of us are wondering why they're not meeting at Franklin School, where it's free. So we'll see. We'll see. Any other, nothing else? Communications correspondence. All right, new business. Any new business? No? All right. Well, I move to adjourn the meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Jose,